I want you to think that there is somebody out there right now in a company or an individual or in a leadership position, and they've been looking at you for a little while. They've kind of been following you for a bit. They might have been an ex-client. They might have been a previous lead. They might have been an ex-colleague. I don't know. But they kind of look at your first two offers and they're like, yeah, not really for me, but they're open to spending a lot more money with you because they want a lot more access to you, because they want to be a lot closer to you, and they want to be able to get answers faster from you. Hey there, expert. Rana Saini here. See, the wealthiest business coaches and consultants see business success as the system. This podcast, The Expert Advantage, contains real-world, in-the-trenches business advice that our clients use to gain a strategic advantage in growing their $1 million expert business. It's my hope that you use these short lessons and insights to gain your strategic advantage in growing your expert business, and maybe one day soon partner with us at the Expert Project to take your expert coaching and consulting business to $1 million and beyond. I hope you share and enjoy. All I want you to do today is grab a pen and a piece of paper. Blank piece of paper, have that in front of you, because we're going to do some work. And today's not about teaching you something that, is tactical. This is about expanding your mind and your ideas and your perceptions to what's possible. And in business, what tends to happen is we find ourselves in this place where we get almost like constrained by reality. And what that means is we look at people around us and we look at people who we look at what's happened in the past. We look at the good things. We look at the challenges. And what we tend to do is we bundle ourselves in this constraint of reality. And what that does is it's good because you have to base what you do on reality. But the challenge is that you are needing to create something that isn't real yet. That's the journey of entrepreneurship. It's creating something that doesn't exist yet, but something you believe to be possible. And so we're always on this edge of uncertainty and certainty. We're uncertain about the future. We're uncertain about what could happen, what might happen. And what we're doing is we have to look to find ways to be certain. And the only thing that you can do to give yourself certainty in business often is by giving yourself a vision that is compelling, that gives you clarity and confidence to have courage to do the thing that you need to achieve the thing that you want to. And it's very, very, very finite. This is not something that just stays with you once. You have this moment of like, oh, I'm so confident now. Life will do this to us. And the thing is, we have to be super clear about what we're chasing. Otherwise, as soon as you have a bad day and that vision isn't strong or not clear, what ends up happening is you start to doubt yourself. Is this possible? Can I do it? If the vision is clear, the how will appear, right? And it's so true. I could go back to any point in the past and think about how am I going to do this? And it wasn't asking myself, how am I going to do this? It was getting clear on what I wanted to do and sitting there and just thinking, closing my eyes and visualizing the kind of business that I had. Can you see yourself making $1 million is a great question. And if you were making $1 million, which I believe is absolutely possible because other people are doing it. So it's not like I'm saying you're going to make $1 billion. We're not saying we're going to create the next rocket ship to Mars. We're doing something that has been proven. We're helping you walk on a path that has been laid before. And ultimately what you find is that along the way, you need to see, what does the business I want look like? Now, that what will change and shift as reality and the activity gives you signals, and you tune into that vision. And so what I want to do today is, everyone, great to see you here. Thomas, mate, welcome back. Great to see you, Ivan, as well, buddy. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. And today is not about reality. Today is about looking at what is possible. It's not about reality, it's about possibility. And all I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and I just want you to write this 500K formula. Don't worry about, Vaughan did tell me this would happen. So let me just give you a speaker. Oh, here we go. Ecamm Live. That's better. Hey, 500K formula. And today's not about, I don't have this, or I'm not sure how to, let's let go of the constraints of reality for a second and just give ourselves 40 minutes to dream. Every single one of you has a business that could do easily over $1 million. And if you don't believe me, though, take a look around at other people and ask yourself a couple of questions. Ready for the questions? How many people at your stage of life in a similar industry to you are making more than you? And just write a number down. What do you reckon? More than you in business. The reality is for people who can't handle drugs. Love it. Second thing is, what do they have that I don't? Great question. What are they willing to do that I'm not? What do I need to believe about myself to overtake them? Every single one of us needs to sit down at some point with a beverage of choice, a pen, and be really honest about answering those questions. Because I can tell you right now, having met several people, even just yesterday, there was a guy I spoke to and he invited me out to have lunch with him. He's got a massive agency and he sat there and he was like, and on social media, I thought this guy was massive, huge. And I just realized he's going through the same problems as everybody else. He's literally going through the same problems that you guys are. And he goes, I just wish I had a business that didn't have problems. We laughed. We laughed for a long while about that. But the reason why he's where he is because he didn't let the challenges stop him. He just let the challenges become the experience he needed to move to the next point. Yeah, Rob, you don't know who you're comparing yourself to. Well, do you know anybody who's doing something more than you? How about, choose someone that you know. They might be someone who is a hero of yours that passed away a long time ago. They might be dead, they might be alive. It doesn't matter. Who's someone that you know that is potentially, maybe in finance terms, more financially successful than you, or from a business perspective, more professionally successful than you? Like, who would they be? The fourth question was, what would I need to believe about myself? What would I need to believe about myself in order to overtake them? Rob, they're just doing business. You're in business. Who's someone else in business that is doing better than you that you know? We can go through a few of them if you want. Richard Branson might be one. Tony Robbins might be one. Choose a hero. Choose a character. They could be fiction, they could be non-fiction, but the goal here is not to be real, but it's to have someone that you go, well, what's different about them? And you realize that, well, they started off in the same place you guys did. Before they became Richard Branson, they weren't Richard Branson. Before Oprah was Oprah, she wasn't Oprah. Whatever the person is, doesn't matter. Who's someone that you could look up to that you think, they are somebody that I think is doing better than me. Don't take it too seriously, like just think about it. I often think about that myself because they have the same time hours in the day as I do. They have the same, I guess, biological makeup as I do. They have a brain, they have eyes. They, like, maybe just how they use it is different, right? And then we could always chalk it down to maybe they've had a lucky break and maybe. But at the end of the day, they're a human being. And all I want to do now is help you guys start to see the vision. And I just want you to draw 3 steps like this. And again, suspend belief. Make like MSU. Make shit up. Be okay with it. We can bore ourselves with reality later. But for now, I just want you to dream. And what I'd like you to do is just at each box, we're going to put an A, we're going to put a B, and we're going to put a C. That's it. And I want you to have a look at that, and we're going to start to see this as, this is your current business, right? This is your current business right now. And how sophisticated it is, how well it's working, doesn't matter, but let's assume this is your business as a 500K business. This is the business that you could have that is making you $500,000 a year. It is the business you have. It's not the business you could have. This is the business you have. This is the business you have right now. So we're gonna dream a bit, right? And all I want you to do is at the bottom of these, we'll just draw like a little, like a line at the bottom. And if you want, we can, if you can, and it's not too messy, you could just draw a couple of lines like this down here. And just keep extending these out so you kind of have this little grid. Don't worry about if it's messy, it doesn't matter. And all I want you to do is write these words. In, up, expand. That's it. In, up, expand. And when you've got that, this is the business you've currently got. Congratulations, it's awesome. And we're going to talk about what that business is. So let's have a look. I'd like you to just to zoom in to A, or just focus on A. And you're going to do a couple of things here, right? At the top, you're going to give your first offer, could be the one you got now, a name, right? So what's the name? I'm going to write the word name. Then I want you to write a $sign, a clock symbol, and a number. So what's the name of your first product or service that introduces people to you that people could buy as their first entry point into your business? So for us, it's foundations, right? Expert foundations. And then what I want you to do is write down, how much do you charge? How much is it worth? How much have you been selling this for? Now, again, this is not reality. This is what you would or believe you could sell it for, potentially. So I might say, well, my first product is 5K. And time, how long does it take for me to deliver that? Or how much access does a person get to that? It's 90 days. And then I'd ask you the question, over the next 12 months, or over the previous 12 months, remember, this is a dream, this is not real. How much have you sold within 12 months? Or how much do you believe you could sell in 12 months? What would it be? Your 12-month goal. So if I wrote these out, just so people go, what's the name? What's the cost? What's the time? And what's the 12-month target or goal that you've hit? And you go, well, how many have you sold? And I go, well, I've actually sold 24. And when you think about that, that is 2 a month. 2 a month is what I believe I can sell. I could sell those. I could make 2 sales a month. What do you believe? Dream of the perfect dream. What could it be? And what I want you to do in the chat is just write down the dollar amount, the length of time, and the quantity of clients that you've sold into this program, or you believe you could sell into this program inside of a 12-month period. What would it be? And just pop it in the chat. Okay. 23K, 90 days, 24. Perfect. Now, all I want you to do, so Thomas, keep going. We'll keep getting these through. Thomas, I just want you to add up 23K times 24. And all you're going to do is at the top here, put a dollar sign and just write one time only, OTO. 12 units, perfect. So for you, it's $2,000, Rob, times 12. Yep. Nice, Thomas. Write that number on A. Yeah, no reality for you, Ava. It's literally 5K. It's a one-day workshop, for example, and over 12 months, how much could you sell? 1 a month? So you might say 1 a month. That sounds like a good target. Perfect. 12 times 5K. Kieran, 6K times 12. That's your A goal. So you go, cool. So for me, I would take my trusty calculator and I would go $5,000 times 24 equals 120K. So my dream business, I know that in 12 months, it makes me $120,000 just by selling the first thing. That's cool. It's good. Reality, push reality aside. Get the logic brain out. Let's dream a bit. And now the realistic mind might creep in and you might sort of make a compromise between fantasy and reality and say, well, look, I'd love to make 1,000 sales, but how about we just say 20? So find a way in the middle. And then what I'd like you to do is we're going to move up to B. Remember, reality, tell it to bugger off for a second. We're going to do the same thing. What's the name? What's the dollar? What's the time? And what's the number? Now, remember, this is for somebody who you might say they're happy to spend a bit more money with you, to do something a bit longer with you, to have more access to you, to get more value from you. The engagement is a deeper engagement. It's a more longer term engagement. But what would it be? What would you call it? What would you charge for that? How long would that take you to deliver? And how many people do you reckon you can get in? So my theory is, if I could get 2 people a month, I reckon I could get 1 person a month into this program. So I might start here and go, cool, well, we're going to call this the Accelerator program. I reckon I can get 12 clients. 12 clients in a year, that's 1 client a month. That means I only need to really upgrade 50% of my clients into the next program or sell one of these programs a month. That seems pretty cool. And how long does it take? Well, it's a 6-month program. Okay, cool. How much do you charge? Well, for that program is 20K. All right, cool. 20K. Not bad. Now that 20K, you might say people can pay in full or they can part pay. But ultimately, let's just keep the numbers simple. It's $20,000, whether they pay it up front or they pay it over a period of 6 months. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Or month to month to month to month to month. Minimum 6-month engagement. Cool. Okay. No worries. So when you've got your sort of B product, I just want you to put in the chat $, length of time, quantity of sales. Cool, Thomas, 44K, 12 months, you need 6 of them. Perfect. Write that up the top. All I want you to do there though, Thomas, the only difference is everyone, MRR, monthly recurring revenue, or retainer revenue, RR, and you just put your number at the top. So I go 20 times 12 is 240K. Great. Nice, Rob. 10K, 6 months, 36 units. So there you go. There's 360K there. Eva, perfect. 40K, 6 months, 4 sales, 140K. Love that. 60K, 6 months, 3 of them, Kieran. Perfect, mate. Good job. Pay in full is PIF and part pay is PP. And again, as I'm saying this, remember your engagements are not, my suggestion to you guys would be you don't put a cap on the engagement, you put a minimum on the engagement. Because, while 6 months might be the minimum, let's be real, some people might take longer than 6 months. Some people might take less than 6 months, but ultimately, for the most part, most people will take more than the granted time. Okay, so we go, okay, that's not looking too bad. Like the business, I can start seeing how my business is doing well. What an awesome business I've got. And then you go, well, if we added that up and we just come over here and we put A, B down the line and we go 120K is what I'm going to bring in with A, 240K is what I'm going to bring in with B. And then we add C and we leave it blank. And I go, okay, well, 120 plus 240 is 360. I'm still short. I'm short of my goal of 500. So how have I made 500K if I have only sold that many? You start going, yeah, that's a good question. So what I want you to think of now is we're going to look at C. And I want you to think of something for a second. This is going to get you to think even bigger than what you're thinking now. I want you to think that there is somebody out there right now in a company or an individual or in a leadership position, and they've been looking at you for a little while. They kind of been following you for a bit. They might have been an ex-client. They might have been a previous lead. They might have been an ex-colleague. I don't know. But they kind of look at your first 2 offers and they're like, yeah, not really for me, but they're open to spending a lot more money with you because they want a lot more access to you, because they want to be a lot closer to you and they want to be able to get answers faster from you. So I just want you to write the word proximity at the top. And I want you to think of that you've got this product that you've just designed for a very unique few people. And this offer is incredibly boutique and customized and tailored. I want you to visualize yourself. You're sitting at your desk at home and you get a call and someone rings you up and says, we need your help, but we need something different. And they say that we've got a big budget, huge budget, but they want something really different. And you start thinking, okay, well, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to fly out to this person, or they're going to fly in. We're going to fly in their team, or we're going to go to their team. I'm going to bring in some specialists in different areas. We're going to look at workshopping some ideas and then take them away to an exotic location. We're going to curate and tailor some solutions to them. We're going to help them implement it, hands-on implementation. We're going to make sure we check in with them often. We're going to assign some services that help take the pressure off them. We're going to we're going to invite them we're going to set up a really big space. We're going to invite them to our offices. We're just going to do this incredible thing. We're going to fly with them on a private jet across the country where we land in a very unique location, and we're going to meet up with 2 other really smart people, and we're going to brainstorm big ideas about this topic. And they've just paid you an incredible amount of money because they want an experience. Like, they don't want something, mainstream. They want something different. And you got to think, how could I offer this service? What would that service look like for me? Do we spend a lot of time with them? Do we fly to them and then build solutions around them? Do we go in and do a sit-in where we sit on their board and then we run some diagnostics, and then we work with their team individually to curate plans and processes and systems? Do we get to know their businesses intricately? Do we get into understand their data, their support, the way they run their sales team? Do we then start implementing huddles and systems? Do we go on site? Do we get a drone that comes over and maps out their landscape and then gives them some diagnostics? What do we do? What could you do? What would this service look like that your target market would go, man, that's what I want? What would that be? Hey there, expert. So listen, our mission here at the Expert Project is to positively impact the world of other business coaches and consultants just like you. We want to help them make more impact, have more income, and have a positive influence on the world. And see, the only way we can do that is if you've heard something in today's episode that moved you, created an insight, changed your perspective, or gave you an aha moment. All I'd ask you to do is take 10 seconds, rate and review this podcast, so together we can help spread the word about this podcast and have a positive influence in someone else's world. And they saw enough value in you because they're like, look, we love what you do. We just want this thing and we're happy to pay whatever it would be. And the question I would ask is daring to dream a little bit. If you had a proximity offer, what would you call it? What would you charge for it? How long would you run it for? And how many do you reckon you could sell over a year? So, I might call it a VIP client. Very original. And I might say, well, it's $100,000 for a year. Okay, well, that's a lot. Oh, maybe not. Okay, well, what would it be worth? You go, 50K. I charge $50,000, so it's about $5,000 a month. And it would be a 6-month engagement that I would have with them. That's just because I'd want to work with them over 6 months, themselves, their teams. And I could take on 5 of those clients. I reckon 5. Oh, maybe not, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, maybe 4. Okay, cool, 4. 4 sounds realistic. 1 a quarter. Okay. All right. Sounds cool. Ava, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm getting stuck when you say how many do you think you could sell? One thing is selling it, the other is delivering it. Correct. And my work takes a lot out of me, and I could actually, for example, in the B offer, actually maximum 2. That's why I wrote just 4, because 2 clients at a time, because I put my all into it. I deliver excellence, and I cannot focus, distribute my focus too much. And so even the proximity VIP client would be like, oh my God, even 1 would be already overwhelming. Yeah. So it's not about the selling, but about then the delivery that worries me. actually.
Yeah, but
so how do you?
But that's because the current Eva's got that problem. But the future Eva, the one that's running a $500,000 business, she's got that sorted out already. Like she's already got a small team around her of 2 consultants that help her implement the systems and the plans. She's already got a back office team that helps process all the information and design the PowerPoints and the presentations, because she's got systems and processes mapped out now.
Okay.
Like she's leveled up. So what I'm saying is we can't think from where we're at in order to create something we want. What we need to do is transport ourselves into the possibility of the future and then reverse engineer and go, okay, what would need to happen for me to do that? And you start thinking different, right? Rather than thinking, I only have 24 hours in a day and therefore I could only have 2 clients. Well, that's fine. That's because where you're at right now, that's the reality, and I get that, and that's what needs to happen now. But if you were systemized and process driven and you had IP online recorded, ready to go, internal systems that you could give to people that someone else could run people through to do some of the lower stuff that gives you the more strategic work, and then you could work closer with the top leaders while some of your team could come in and facilitate some of the lower level work, the diagnostics and the rolling out of some of your IP. You might say, yeah, I've got a team of 2 consultants that I hire on a contract basis. And they come in and they deliver work for me, and they know my systems. And, so I'm just thinking, just think a little bit bigger for today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
Good question though. So what I'd like you to do is, same with you, Thomas. You go, yep, you don't even worry about it. You've got trainers. You've got 2 really top trainers. They are all in. They're great trainers. You've got processes, systems. You've written books. You've got dashboards ready. Like you've got a tech team behind the scenes that could come in and integrate with their systems to pull out data and reports to design them up for them. Like sky's the limit, man. What would you charge? So what I'd like you guys to do is put this offer down into the chat. It would be a $50,000 6-month engagement. I could get 4 of them. So for me, I'd go, well, that's $200K. $200K. Yeah, nice. Yeah. So for everyone in the recording, Thomas has said, we've not understood our C offer, but we've had a breakthrough what it could look like this morning. Yeah, because you can't create innovation if you're thinking in the same way. You've got to think of you've got to push yourself way into the future and then think to yourself, that's scary. I can see how that could happen, but it scares me right now. That's good. The C offer needs to cost more than the B offer because it takes more of your time, resources, and you are working with higher level people. So they're happy to pay you. It's like open checkbook. What would you charge me? You start thinking, don't you? You go, provide in-house waste management services part-time, 100K times 2. Brilliant. Kieran, love that. Love that. And guys, like I honestly, if you add up your numbers right now and I go, well, 0, 6, 5, boom, 560K. That's my business. That's what my business brought in. Wow, that's what it is. And that's what it needs to look like. Okay, cool. Interesting. Yeah. And Kira said, option C is scary, resourcing, and I feel it could create problems I don't know about. Absolutely. And here's the thing I want to say to each and every one of you. solve bigger problems, create a bigger business. You can't solve problems that don't exist yet. And I guarantee you, if you are solving new problems, you're breaking new ground for yourself and your clients. And intelligence and growth doesn't come from what is new and comfortable and known and certain. That just keeps you in a holding pattern. And I'm not saying you go and do some stupid stuff like I'm going to invest $1 million into a business that I don't know. But what I'm saying is go and sign up a C client, Kieran, and figure it out. And we'll help you. And you go, look, Thomas, there you go. That's $1 million business you've got. And there's no reason why you and Kate couldn't just, and I mean this like, obviously this, I don't mean it like you guys work hard, but you guys should just pull your finger out and just go, fuck, that's what we're dedicated to. In now, that what would have to change in you guys to offer that? Probably not a lot, except for the fact that you'd have to think different, do different to get different. But man, that's your business. Every single one of you, if you look on that piece of paper, is what is absolutely possible for you right now. Absolutely possible. You just need to understand, how do I have to think different to get different? So when I look at someone like, I know I talk about, say, Cyril, for example, but Cyril's one guy with 2 trainers. And he runs a workshop and then he does ongoing mastery work, and he's got a very cool model. That's great. Ty is another one. Ty's one guy with a VA, and he's clocking fast towards $500,000. So what you realize is how you structure your business, the constraints we have are all the same. And we talk about these all the time. There are 3 currencies. Ready? 1, how much you charge. You're probably not charging enough. If you don't have capacity, then capacity equals value, right? So it's like supply demand. So for example, Eva, if you can only charge, if you can only have 2 clients, then you should charge a lot. Now, when we start, you find your ground, right? You over deliver, underprice, because what you're trying to do is just start, and that's fine. That's fine. Nothing is wrong with that. And then as you learn more and grow more and iterate and create better systems and processes and learn, you become more valuable here and more confident here, and therefore you can charge more out there. And so that's how business works. It's just pricing is literally made up. No one sets anything for pricing. Pricing is just value over cost equals price. So if you think about what that is, it is, does the value given exceed the cost perceived? And that's the price. So what someone's willing to pay and what someone's willing to give, pay, equals agree. And if I was to start business again, what I would do, if someone said, Ron, I'm taking it all away from you, all away, I would go like this. I would say, no worries. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take what I know, which is quite a lot, and I'm going to sell this offer, and I'm going to sell it, but I'm going to deliver it as if they were this, right? So what I mean by that, similar to you, Eva, I would just go, I'm going to take the clients I can get, I'm going to over-deliver, I'm going to get reviews from them, I'm going to get results for them, I'm going to get referrals from them, and I'm going to work really hard one-on-one to build up my credibility, my confidence, and my cash flow. And then I'm going to use my credibility, my confidence, and my cash flow. And then I'm going to start to productize what I do so I can sell it cheaper and give people more access to it down here. So I can do more workshops because I'm getting my confidence and my cash flow is being given here. And I would invite one client that I've worked with over 12 months, I would choose them and I'd find out who that client might be that would pay me a little bit more, that I could do a little bit deeper work with. And that's all I would do in my business. I would start with one offer. Now, if someone says, Rana, I can't pay that, but I want to start with something smaller. Sure, I could just go, I'll just do a baby version of that. Because here's what happens. In business, your A is delivered when someone buys B, right? So someone buys B, A becomes the foundation for B. It's not a separate product. It's the start of the same product. And then if someone wants C, you could easily give people A's and B as part of it, because this is a process, this is a plan, right? So this is a plan, A is a plan, foundation, we're going to set the plan. That might be a workshop, it might be whatever it is. B is the process where we start implementing it and building it. And C is for those people who want to just work closer, proximity, consulting, custom. Now, on the back of that, you might say, some of you might go, well, Rana, I don't have my, what happens if I don't have my 500K? I want you to write two things down. You're going to write the word extras up here. And you're going to write hours and events. And the easiest way for you, it's not about making money, but it's about helping people understand what other value you could do, is you can sell more hours or you could sell an event. Now, your event could be a workshop. Your event could be an intensive. Your event could be an experience. Your event could be a 3-day offsite. Your event could be a facilitation. Your hours might be a half-day board seat, a full-day strategy session. Don't ever sell hours. Never sell hours as hours. Sell hours as half days or full days, or keynotes. Never just sell hours as like 1 hour, because then people start going, oh, so you're only worth $150. Sell half day rates, full day rates, keynotes. Then you could go, cool. Then the events. So half day, full day, keynote. Events could be intensive, facilitation, workshop, training, retreats, experiences, offsites. Choose one. Choose one or two. And what I mean by that is they're the ancillary offers that you can have that complement your A's or B's. So if someone's doing A and they want more, then you can say, great, here's ways we can work together a bit closer if they can't afford to go to B. Why don't you come in? I'll just do a half-day workshop, a full-day facilitation. Why don't I come in and do a keynote? Why don't I come in and why don't we do an offsite with your team on it? And then that's how you can add value to existing offers if someone's not willing to go to the next level. But you would use these things, I'm going to say this really, really, really slowly. You would use these things as mechanisms to position and sell the next thing. So if someone's in B and they want a half-day session, then, I know that they're wanting to pay more for my time. Why wouldn't I talk to them about how they could become a proximity client? Why wouldn't I take that opportunity? Because most of you don't talk about what you could do because you assume that they know or that you're not sure, or as Kieran said, and this is the number one reason, I just don't know how to do it yet, so I don't want to offer it yet. It's fine, I get that. But before you know, you don't. And the only way to know is to do. So do before you know, and then you'll know. You will all figure shit out as you go. It's like kind of saying, for those of you who have kids, I don't, but I want to know this is all going to work out, right? Or being married is another one. I want to know that, this marriage thing is going to work and that, it's going to be easy. And then you realize, well, how the hell do you know? You get married and you figure it out. It's the same with business. How do you know business is going to work? Well, you start one and you figure it out. How do you know this offering is going to work? I don't know. You put it together. You understand the mechanics of an offer, right? How much does it cost? How long does it take to deliver? And how much effort is required on your part? And then you offer it. You figure it out. Because you're all smart enough and have enough integrity that you're going to do the best you can with what you've got, and you'll learn something along the way. And the beautiful thing about that is, I don't mean this in a negative way, but you will get paid to learn it rather than be poor thinking about it. That here is your map to achieving what you guys want. The only difference between you and the person that you admire that is ahead of you is one word, and it's called courage. That's it. There's nothing more between you and the other bloke or other person or other girl or woman or lady or man, or maybe they're, an astronaut. But understand that the difference between you and the next person that you maybe look up to or admire is purely courage. The courage to act, the courage to ask, the courage to do. Nobody has 100% certainty 100% of the time. So if you're waiting for certainty in order to act, you'll always be stuck thinking about it. So the question for you is, what is stopping you from making that happen in the next 12 months? Or what would you need to change or start thinking like in order to make that possible? Who would you need to speak to start making that next sale? Who would you need to get in front of? So if you add up your number before we sign off, what's your number? What's your business? What did your business come to? Let me know in the chat. Cool. 600K. Cool. Ivan, mate, easy. Hey, you know what they say, Eva, what you do is you go, cool, aim for 370, worst case you hit 150. But commit to the 370. Because what I tend to find is whatever goal we set, most of us see a goal of 100K and 100K looks hard. But when you make a goal of 370 and you can see the path to getting to 370, what you realize is that you will get to 150 just because you're aiming for 370. It's like they say about people in the race, in sprinters. They go, never look at the finish line as the end of the race. Look past the finish line, and then you'll go through it anyway. It's the same with hitting goals. See how you can make $1 million, and worst case scenario, you hit 250. And same with you guys. Like Thomas, you have everything you need to hit $500,000 and beyond. Absolutely. It's how you guys are doing it now. What you've got is exactly what you have. How you're doing it needs to change and needs to just be tightened up and process driven now. The how needs to be more consistent and more intentional, and you guys will get there just by having your eyes on the prize. Rob, 1.3, mate. You're going to make people a lot more money than 1.3. So for you to earn that is not, it's not even a problem. So I want you guys to take this plan. Kieran, 450 to 500K. Very achievable, mate. Absolutely. I want you to take what you've got, this plan. I want you to take a photo, everybody. And what we're going to do is take a photo, and I'd like you to jump in, screenshot, and you guys might want to do this, like, if you can do this now, get imperfect action is better than nothing. I want you to take a screenshot of whatever you've done. It could be a photo. And I'd like you to post it in the group. You'll see that some of our other guys have done that on Tuesday night. They took a screenshot of their 500K formula, or they just sort of did it up and they posted it in the group with a bit of a comment about what their insight was. That's your commitment to yourself. And I truly believe there is nothing stopping you from achieving it. Like, there's none of you you wouldn't be here if you were average. You see something bigger for yourself, which is why you're here. We don't work with average, right? Like, you're here because you see something bigger for yourself. And what you see is that in front of you right now. So let's commit to making it happen. Also, if you haven't already, remember that I'm going to keep talking, but please post this in the group and get it solid. Is two things are happening in the future. One, we've got our intensive coming up. The theme is productized to profit. Very valuable for each and every one of you, not because you want to sell online courses, but because you should understand the mechanics of taking you have to take the ideas and the insights you've got here and learn how to package them up in easier ways for you to deliver your service. So they complement what you do, not distract from what you do. That includes putting together really good trainings, putting together really good workshops, putting together really good processes. I've got two guys coming. One is Josh, who we've seen before, but Josh is going to come back and he's going to talk to us about how he takes IP and puts it into a program to help experts like yourselves basically elevate their training and present it and promote it. It's the stuff that, you look at IFS, that's what I've been doing, but I'm going to get Joshua to come in and talk to you guys about it. Second thing is a guy called Dan. He works for a big company called Knowledge Source. They do about $1 million of ad spend a week. And he also writes the webinars and the trainings for all of their experts. So it's a very interesting model that they've got. The webinars that he writes for his experts have probably they would be making about $10 to $15 million a month in sales. And he's going to explain how he does it, the psychology behind it, and the structure for how he lays out a webinar. Dan's a super smart guy. No one's ever heard of him because he just sits behind the scenes. He's a nerd and he doesn't like to be in front of stage. So I've convinced him to become in front of stage to talk to you guys about how he's done it. He's behind some of the biggest brands. You guys would know them, some of the biggest experts in the markets you see on stages all over the country. Dan's part of those guys. He's done a lot of work with them. So it's going to be great intensive to understand how to take what's up here and start to flesh it out to communicate it better without just having to use your time as the only leverage point for your services, which is how you go from A to B to C. So it's been helpful today, guys. Got an insight, post it in the group, but let me know in the chat. Good. It's worth staying up for, Ava. And now it's late for you, mate. Yeah, good on you. It's so good to see you. You too, Thomas, as well, mate. Ivan, mate, as always, look, I always know if I haven't laughed, Ivan hasn't been on the call. So, or cried. It could go either way. We're not sure. Cool. Kieran, mate, lovely to see you too. Catherine, Rob, chuck it, get the screenshot. This screenshot posting group with your thoughts and comments around your plan. Get it done before you move on to the next thing, because it's really important that you guys see it and have it in front of you every time you take action, or every time you don't take action, it'll remind you of why you should. Have a fantastic day, guys, and a lovely finish to your week. We'll catch up soon. Take care. Bye for now. See ya.